G Money.
Yo.
What's up, man?
What's going on? Wagwan, brethren.
Yo.
Wagwan, brother.
I ain't gonna lie, you corny today, bro.
What I do,
you
man?
Corny. And I'm gonna violate you today. Today your day.
I've been a bad guy since last episode, man.
Yeah,
What's going on,
What's
man? Things changing around here.
Yeah.
You flipping the script? The
Take
script
the
now?
heat for once.
One time, right?
How are you?
I'm good. How you feeling, man?
I feel good, man. You know, I feel healthy. You know, things are moving in the right direction.
Yes.
I'm excited about our next interview, but
Yes,
going on with you?
I'm feeling healthy as well. I have this all natural beard oil. You know what I'm saying? 100% natural product. It's also 100% vegan. It's called Wukuwada. Shout out to Wukuwada beard oil company. What happened?
You know, it's so crazy. They pay you to do this. They don't pay me nothing. That's crazy. And the thing is, you hear all these rumors about me, but look, you making bread. Gee.
What?
Gee, why would you do that?
I'm just saying,
Hey,
like,
you tried the product.
yeah, I feel good. It's, you know.
Don't lie. They didn't pay you extra for that to say you didn't feel good. You can't even feel it instantly. That's not instant
You
gratification.
see my joint growing in already. I already feel like.
Do get drunk. Yeah. Let me watch. Let me learn from you.
Nah, that's it. I just wanted to say shout out to Wukuwada beard oil company. You know, my joint already grew like in the last half an hour.
You sure that's all?
Oh, how can I forget? Shout out to I Pray clothing line, real I Pray on Instagram. You know, I got this lovely ensemble here. I got the, got the slides. Just comfortable. I'm at home. I'm comfortable, man. You know. How you doing though? You good? What's going on?
Don't touch me. my thing with you is that the fact remains is that you get all these sponsors, you get all this love, and I don't get anything, and it bothers me.
Listen, whenever you're ready, man.
Because they don't want to pay my price.
Well, you know.
Nope.
My price is like this. Your price is like this. It's a little, it's a little. That takes a little.
Just a shout out to your sponsors today.
Shout out to them.
But I definitely want to get. We had our guests waiting. I definitely want to get into it. But how's the family? Dawson's
Everybody's good. Also want to shout out King Face one time, man.
Shout out to King Face. Get well, King Face.
Get well, King Face. That's the homie, man. You know what I'm saying? When I saw the post online, I was like, oof.
Yeah.
I had no idea that, because I actually texted him like a few weeks ago, and I didn't hear back from him, so I knew something was up. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him and his family. Hope he. I do know he will pull through it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've been holding that secret about King Face for like 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, and he asked me while he was in the hospital, "Yo, Flip, please do not, spread my business and stuff like that." And
Respect.
it was hard, man. But to hear that he's fine, he's not to hear. The only thing that bothers me, man, we're praying for him. The only thing that bothers me is that the people, because of his political beliefs and how he is, they're choosing this time to attack him, and that's a little crazy to me. Like a lot of people talking bad about him and stuff like that, and you know what I mean. And you're gonna get that all the time, but it's just a shame that somebody is in a coma, fighting for their life, and that's the time that you shouldn't wish. I ain't gonna get into it.
Yeah,
but
shout out to King Face, man. Get well soon, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Get well. I know you're gonna beat it. But G Money,
yo,
episode 166, nigga, we made it. We got a special guest.
Walked in
he
here.
Don't like to be called an OG, but we gonna call him that anyway. OG.
Walked in here smooth too.
Smooth operator. Woo, sharp.
Sharper than Gillette. You know what I'm saying?
You sharp, man. Oh, he's smiling too.
He might get it. He cool off the outfit. Off the outfit alone. He might get it. He cool out the gate.
Melvin Farmer in the building. Round of applause one more time. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank y'all for having me.
But before we get to it, can you tell us who you have in the building with you today?
Man, I got my senorita, my lovely daughter, Melanie Farmer. Little Mel, man.
Nice.
Welcome my baby out here. Let her experience this.
Okay,
together.
and then who else? Who's the people over there?
I got my manager, Tim Terrene.
Okay.
Artist here, rap artist, Brooklyn Batman. Got my man GS right here. Got the poetess right here, and got your staff right there.
Okay.
Wait, hold it. Where my little young homie at? Wait, hold on. We got the youth where we educate. We start from the tiny boppers that come. Yeah, come on, Simon. Now, let the little fella up in here. Come on up in here. So we got them. We started all ages.
Okay.
We don't set we set trends.
Oh,
come on.
No. He don't deserve it. That's too fast.
It's early, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna get one more time. Oh no, wait.
So how you doing, man?
Oh, but I'm doing fine, man.
Okay.
But really, honestly, it's really an honor to be here, though.
Oh, thank you very much. It means a lot. Are you in New York a lot back in your days? Well, you said you were
Well, I've been
years.
coming to New York, but frequently I've been coming every 90 days. About every 90 days. I work with entertainers, Joey Badass, Fabio.
Fabio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we all interact, this man, so we trying to make something happen.
Oh, so you're going to let your nuts hang just like that, just show up like that?
We're going to see where other people see who's hanged the longest.
Oh,
How about that? How about that?
He got it. He cool, man. He is. We can't deny that.
Nah, man.
He's too good already.
Well, before we, get into the meat and potatoes, let's we like to go back in the beginning, where everything started at.
Yes.
So,
if you can, just let the people who don't know who Melvin Farmer is, let everybody know, who you are and where you from, and give us a brief, overview.
Well, my name Melvin Farmer. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I served over 30-some years of my life in prison. At the age of 13, I was running around with the Crips, the West Side Crips, Tookie, Raymond Washington, these guys. By the way, none of them made it past 24. And by the age of 15, I broke from the West Side Crips, and we started what is presently known as Gangster Crips, Eight Trey Gangsters. And from there, we went to, I had 2 eras, because I also was a #1 ranked basketball player while I was gangbanging.
Talk about it.
So I had to make a choice between the corners or the courts, and I chose the streets, whereas a lot of my friends went on to pro careers or whatever, whereas we went on and had a career as starting in the juvenile justice system, then graduating to the adult system, and then going from there to where I was 94 after the 92 riots. They put me under surveillance, set me up, and I got 25 years plus a consecutive sentence of life as one of the first up under the California 3 strikes law in 1994, got a reversal in 97, wrote a book predicting mass incarceration in 98, called The New Slave Ship, a ship that does not sail. And from there I've been doing civil rights activism and leaderism and bringing awareness for about 23 years now that a lot of people don't really know about.
Wow.
I serve the people.
That's a lot of stuff you did in your time, man. So we're gonna go back a little bit. Being that you gave us an overview, let's go back now and tackle it from beginning to end, the whole story. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back. Born and raised in L.A.
Yes, sir.
What part?
West Los Angeles.
West Los Angeles. And you you grew up with both parents, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Mother and father?
Mother and father.
What did they do?
Working parents. Both of them worked because that era, 69, 70, when I was 12, 13, 14, most parents had, families had 2 parents' homes. And it wasn't no drug addiction, wasn't no gang activity. But also my parents didn't know I was sneaking out that back door. So a lot of times you think that it's the parenting, and that parent can't be around 24/7, particularly when you got 2 parents working. So that gives them an opportunity. I hear so much about this, how much a parent can make an outcome and a difference, and they can. But them streets can suck you up if there's nobody giving them love and attention. The streets gonna give them what they lacking.
So when you said, so do you think that because your parents worked so hard and did you consider yourself having a lot? First of all, did you have siblings?
Yeah, I had 2 sisters, younger sisters.
Okay, and then do you feel like by them working so hard, they wasn't really home that much, so it gave you the opportunity, or were they, what was it?
No, it wasn't that. They couldn't. I played sports year round: baseball, football, basketball at St. Andrews Park. And you have to remember in that era, they don't have all this that you see now, social media and all this. They didn't have no gangs, shootings, homelessness, drugs and all that. These are people that basically migrated from down south. Most of the parents of these kids in L.A., from 50 on down, their parents came from Mississippi and they migrated. So during the 70s, parents didn't know. They might have witnessed what they were seeing. Like my mama can tell history and won't even know it. Like she can say, I remember in 72 when Melvin was sneaking out the house wearing a red Pendleton coat. But colors wasn't even out. And that would show you. In 72, they wasn't bleeding blue or red. It was a cross earring. So my mother knows, and people that witnessed it witnessed a lot of history, and they didn't realize what they was doing, as opposed to now, where a family member might have been a gang member, then the next family member, and now it's like a tradition where it's you born into royalty. So it's a big difference from the 70s all the way until the 80s, when the internal fighting started, Crip on Crip, and that's when things changed to where it is now.
But when we was doing our research, I heard when you talked about, you said that you talking about your father. You said that him and your mother, he used to hit your mother. Yes.
Yes.
And when, I guess one day you got it. Can you tell us that story? Like, can you?
One day, I'm probably 14, 15, or 16, and I heard my mother hollering, and I heard slapping. And then I realized it was my father hitting my mother. So I had a pistol on me, and I waited in the hallway, and I placed it up on his heart, and I said it just like I'm going to say it again. If I ever hear my mama cry like that again, I'm going to have to use this. And I walked off. My mama never knew that story till I told her, a couple of years ago. But he never touched her for 40-something years. And she couldn't figure out why till I told her. That's what I told him. So that's how that go.
Was it, but you said it wasn't no drugs, it wasn't alcohol or nothing, it was just who he was, or his character?
Well, a lot of times those men coming from that days, they worked hard. But they come home, they drink. My daddy used to carry me on his shoulders to crap games. And that's the type of things like we have family softball games. My family, they only interacted with our family. I'm basically the black sheep of the family where I moved outside the box. So there was no drugs and none of that played no role.
But that was just what he wanted to do. What was it that he just was a guy that...
Well, you got a lot of men, particularly that era that I'm starting to realize, where a lot of my friends that do shows like Care Mac and other shows where they tell their life stories, and all of them have a common denominator where there was some type of abuse or mental challenges going on, and particularly amongst authority when a stepfather might try to tell him what to do or that like that. So a lot of them had resentments toward the father abusing the mother. A whole lot of my friends, and actually I know a couple of them that went on and killed their daddies at an early age, 14 and 15.
But I'm asking you that in retrospect, since you got older and you be able to look at it, what do you think is from? Where is that? Where does that come from? If you understand the abuse,
I can't speak on because I don't abuse, so I can't speak on what somebody else abused. That would be for a counselor or something. That ain't my area, but that's over my pay grade.
Hey, yo, I'm talking about no counselors like that. I'm trying to make no jokes like that. Yeah, it would be for a counselor.
Yeah, I can't answer that how my father did it. I just know I'm not accepting it.
Was he surprised? Was he upset at you?
No, let me tell you. He respected it because he know it must have hurt me, and he didn't know I heard it. So he never said nothing. He never held it against me. I think he respected me more so after that. Like another time, we used to have a dog. He'd go get a dog in a minute. And the dog wouldn't let nobody feed him. But he gonna make my sister just fight the dog to feed them. No, that can't. So there's a lot of things like that. But in retrospect, when he died, I cried a month. Cried a month. Didn't have no money. Had to go and get it. Didn't have no insurance. But I went and got that money and paid $15,000, $20,000 for his burial. So it wasn't nothing, but I just don't like to see my mama cry.
Cry. Got it. No, wow.
So at what age did you start, getting in the streets and getting in trouble and things like that?
13.
13?
Do you remember the first time? What made you want to, like, who put you on to that?
Well, I was hanging around Tookie them. I knew his sister them, but as far as the criminal element, I had like Michael Christian that ended up being 8-time runner-up in the Olympics. You had Melvin Hardy. You had Monk. You had Tony Brock. You had Babyface. You had James Miller. Russell. All these guys are founders of all the sets that ever started that you hear about now when we broke off. And so I started off stealing and this and that, but I'm also playing sports because I never asked my mama for no money. I'm not the type where I ever went and snuck a quarter to go get an ice cream. I never touched my mama purse. Never have I stolen nothing. And I started dressing myself at 13, and then we started at the age of 14. I was robbing ice cream trucks or armored trucks by then. And then I had a buddy named Philip McCain, where he taught me how to sneak and get weapons without doing burglaries, on how to go in the house and look to get pistols. And
hold on, whoop. Slow down. Talk very fast. I gotta relax because his voice is very melodic and soothing.
Yeah.
You said that you was robbing armored trucks
or ice cream trucks at 14.
Taking ice creams in the
Yo, Melvin, I love you.
You can go on and ask it, bro, but I guarantee you, and that's why we gonna talk, because y'all can't imagine it, because y'all couldn't imagine in our era what we could get away with, could you?
Well,
we gonna get right, because this ain't gonna be one where you gonna think you're gonna, because my word is my bond. I come off the top of the head, I don't hesitate. If I say I was robbing ice cream trucks or armored trucks, trust me, kid. I did it. I ain't telling you what I thought about it.
Let's go. I can take that.
But I love you because you ain't meaning no harm.
Yeah,
that's your thing.
I don't.
So this is just fun.
What was
so
yeah,
my fault. So you
pull the mic a little closer.
So what you're saying is you started going outside and robbing and stealing because of the sole reason for you wanting to get it on your own and not want to ask mom and dad.
That was our hustle. We didn't have no hustles where you go and sell dope,
right.
Do identity theft, none of that. You had to go take your money.
But your parents work hard. You could have,
My parents never seen me. The only time I came home was for dinner. And she'll tell you, I come home for dinner, then I'm gone.
And at that age, you was playing sports as well.
Right.
Got it. So, but you're doing all this stuff, and was it a bunch of you? And if it was, like, were you getting arrested at that time at a young age? Were you getting arrested for these things and stuff like that?
I had 50 arrests, 40 of them for robbery by the time I was 17. But they had a revolving door. When you get caught for a robbery, you get cited home. We were 13, 14, 15. They didn't have no juvenile laws.
I understand.
So you can get away with that. You're only getting a year for a murder.
Wow.
I can't even show my friends because all of them are convicted. If you want to get serious.
A year for a murder back in those days.
That's what you got as a juvenile. That's why you got the juvenile fitness hearing that exists today around the nation. It didn't start till 75. That was behind these cats. Where you think it come from? Juvenile? No, I'm just saying. What I mean by that, when you dig deep, people think they're inventing something new when they actually, it ain't nothing new in this game. They just get punished when we didn't. That's the only difference. They get 10 years for getting caught with a gun. We damn near get the gun back.
That's crazy.
But I'm trying to figure out, if you had to describe how you were as a kid, like as far as like personality wise, outside in the streets, how were you? Were you mean? Were you nice?
Nope. Never had a
Crack
problem.
jokes?
We kept it business. We never did nothing scandalous. My word been good. I ain't never robbed nobody. Never did nothing to the black. In fact, I ain't never been arrested for a black on black crime. How about that? That's because I was robbing armored trucks or ice cream trucks. I was getting money. You like that, don't you? That's my partner right there.
He did, yeah, he did. I'm more
I
of a
like
hater.
y'all.
I'm more of a hater.
Oh, man.
Man, I wasn't there,
You better
man.
start being a regulator, man. Don't be a hater, man. Regulate, player. Don't hate. Regulate.
Let's go.
He gonna get 2 this episode, man. He gonna get 2. I already
No.
know.
That's understandable. I mean, back in the day, and back in those days too, like I could assume that there were like a lot of white and blacks. The racism back in those days.
Well,
was it strong back then?
When I moved from the east side to the west side, they were just starting to integrate. It was a lot of us that were the first whites, blacks over there.
Okay.
Now, as far as racism, the one school I went to, which was a white school, Orville Wright, I lasted, I think, 30 minutes before the first class I supposed to went to where they were pitching lagging quarters. And another white kid came and took everybody money. But the white kids went and told them, I did it. I got kicked out of school. Went to jail, and my mama didn't believe me. And I ended up going to juvenile hall and doing time for it.
Wow.
Now, when it come to racism, I felt it more so in the criminal justice system and by law enforcement when it come to racism and the practices that happen. Like, for instance, I'm on 20 years parole from an 80-year sentence where I just did 5 years in Georgia. But my hands was up. Police shot at me. I don't get my day in court. I want to run for city council. I can't do it. So these are the things that I'm trying to bring awareness to for others. And out here in Hollis, I'm part of a Code Black Coalition here. You got Pat Robertson, VP H&R Hot 97, but she's also executive director of the Colin Kaepernick campaign. You have Tim Tureen running for 37th Street District as a candidate. So we're trying to put down and implement something to where Hollis, Queens, and this Queens area could be the prototype across America as we go on into these pivotal last few months to where we need to start educating and get the voters and the youths and the blacks and us to come in and start helping. So that is one of the things that I'm out here for, to come and try to help restore that.
So, Raymond and Tookie, you were friends as kids. And do you remember when they started the Crips? Do you remember that time?
Yes,
and what
sir.
made them start it? Because there wasn't no Crips and Bloods back in the days, of course, as we all know. And they started it. What was the motivation behind that?
I can't speak on motivation because when I was 13 around them, you have to remember they were 17.
Okay.
So Raymond started the Crips in '69. Raymond is the original founder. They should acknowledge that. But a lot of times Raymond history is tainted because he was in prison at an early age in 72, 73, 74, 75, when this was starting to get dominant. Because at that time, it wasn't. Now, as far as Tookie, him and Tookie met. Actually, the East Side came to a record hop, and they got into a fight. And that's when the merger of the East Side, West Side, and Compton Crips emerged. Those were the three factions. But as far as ever hearing like some Custer speech about we shall overcome or we gonna do it. No, that ain't how the get down was. Never no talk like that.
And because Raymond was in jail, a lot of people give the credit, to Tookie.
Well, Tookie was the Clark Gable, the face. Raymond, who I started hanging out with after he got out, was different in character in Tookie. Whereas Raymond, we might go get some money any type of way. And Raymond wasn't the type that would be he's more down to earth, not so much like Tookie was over, but Tookie is an imposing figure. And I don't see him do some things that defy gravity. But with Raymond, he was a nice guy. A couple of days before he got killed, we had been together, and a couple of days before Tookie had got arrested, I told him to leave that facility. I think this dude's a snitch. A couple of days later, they went and arrested him, and he got executed. He never made it back. So both of them were pretty cool cats, but they wasn't the type. A lot of people said and think they were leaders that said, go kill this, go kill that. I never seen them one of them with a gun. They were fighters. It's the younger ones, the first group in 72, that started what they pretty much do today as far as culture-wise when it comes to pure gang activity. Not where drug dealer and you're not active, but you're claiming Crip. I'm talking about those that's coming to make it the candlestick maker or to have your face on the T-shirt. Those are the gang members. Tookie and them never advocated that. So many people, they did this. Tookie and them ain't never had a gun. It was the 13s, the 14s, the 15-year-olds that could get away with that, and Tookie and them were the face, and the gunners would be in the back. And then they caught on to that. So a lot of times the myths that they portray these guys and the bad things, Tookie worked in the halfway house where he ran a boys' home in 73, 74, 75. People don't know that. And then they shot that up. That's when he got shot. So Tookie had changed his life around. And Tookie, he had never been to prison till that arrest. He wasn't headed that way, and that's when you abuse drugs. And a lot of times you'll use the drugs that'll make you go and do something else, and then when you wake up, you won't know what hit you.
But he was convicted of the murder of 4 people,
He didn't do, but one of them he had, where 3 of them, which is Tony Sims, Bam, and Blackie. Blackie got out of state release, out the country, for testimony because he was from Canada. Bam got life without. Tookie got the death penalty. Then you had 3 murders at a hotel where I can get the people who were involved in other situations with the man that ended up telling on Tookie to even get him involved, where it's contrary to what other people are speaking on pertaining to the other 3 murders. So if he wouldn't have had those other 3 murders and only would have that 1 murder, then he would have probably not been on death row. And I can unequivocally say he didn't do the other 3 because Tookie met the people who told on him through me. And that was in 73.
So and I saw that you went to. So somebody told on him, the guy that you went to his house or something like that. You went to this house. Or?
He was staying at a house, and if you read the transcript, they say they went in the house and found a shotgun where somebody told him it was under the bed, and it was used in the murders because the only way you can trace a shotgun is with the shell.
Yes.
Or else you won't. And they found a shell at the scene, which came out of a robbery at the Big 5 in Inglewood in Los Angeles that was traced, and that goes back prior to the murders when those occurred. So Tookie couldn't have been nowhere had those special bullets. Tookie never had possession of them, but I know who did have them, the same one that told on him.
The guy?
Yeah, he did the robbery. So who would you infer gonna keep the bullets, Tookie or the person who got all the weapons, because he was older than us, so when they did the robberies and stuff, we'll give it to him to sell. We wasn't old enough to go sell nothing. We didn't know where to fence nothing at no 17, 18. This man 35, 40 years old at this time.
So the guy who told on him, his name was James, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And 'cause I saw something where you visit his home or something like that. You went to, did you go to his home or Tookie home? I was confused.
Well, that's where he was arrested at, but actually, they family raised her brother, which is my son, Melvin Farmer. That's how tight we was.
Understood.
They first came, James Garrett, actually, they say he come from out the prison riots at Attica and came down there. And they family raised my family. So we have ties to where they just sent my son something because he's in prison. Didn't listen. They want to learn the hard way. So we're still all interacting. And we don't hold no, I don't, because they family and us are like this. And what the father might have did has nothing to do with everybody else, and that's how it should be. And maybe if people would back up off and quit every time somebody say something, and most of them don't know nothing, and let them go, then people can get closure. Because there's a lot that's not closure on that case. Because if it's proven that Tookie didn't do it, and could have been exonerated, because right before he was executed, his whole lawyer team came and closed the prison down to get my affidavit because they knew I knew what happened. And the governor erred, or the Supreme Court erred in their decision-making when they executed. He should have been granted a stay until they heard what I actually had to say, as well as the other ones that are willing to come forward now.
Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time.
Yeah, but it's really more so the governor's hands were tied. Once you get that far into the death penalty where he can make a decision, you have to go into the court and file a writ or something to postpone it. And that would have been up under new evidence, because I was presenting new evidence, and the Supreme Court and the courts erred, and it probably cost a man his life. That I can guarantee you.
Where is James?
He died of a heart attack.
Oh.
Mostly everybody involved in that are pretty much dead now.
And you feel like that, even though you go with his family, so whatever their father did has nothing to do with.
I still talk to him.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Do people bother his family about that? No. Okay.
Yeah, no, most people don't even know him like that because they've been around so long. They're a good family.
Respect.
With respect. And they daddy, let me say this, though. He wasn't no buster. He was something else. He's a piece of work. Real piece of work.
He ain't play no games.
None.
So now, they start the Crips. You join it, right, at that time. And what was the set that they were at the time in
You only had West Side, East Side, and Compton.
West Side, East Side, Compton. All right. And then you branched off. Tell us about the branch off and why did you branch off?
Well, what happened was the first set to branch off was called the United Underground, UGs, which they end up being underground, but it was United Underground. I had went to jail for a pistol again and got right back out. But this time, see, in our era, we never got attacked. None of my friends ever been killed, unless it's by internal to where something don't happen between us and they sell it. But other than that, the Crips of the 70s never got where they come to attack us. Mm-hmm. We had to go and engage them. Just like you seen when I said I went to 16 high schools. People think that's impossible. Y'all, you don't seen it. You have rappers that go on tour, am I correct? NASCAR, they go on the circuit. In our era, the Crips went to high schools to engage. If I go to Manual Arts, I know I'm going up there to fight some brims. That's all that's there. It ain't no Crips. So that's why I got my equalizer, and we going to go up here and we going to get it on. I need to know where you from. And that's what's our get down. You might go to Dorsey High, they get out at 1:35. Now we're going to go to Crenshaw High, they get out at 2, where the Van Ness boys at. Now we're going to go to Inglewood at 3, where the Inglewood family at. And we're going to engage them.
So earlier you said you can't speak on why these guys started the Crips, but what's your perception on why the gang actually started?
I don't even, because you hear so many things. I just look at it like what got me into it. Mm-hmm. I grew up and watched them as it started progressing to that. And it was like a camaraderie ship, because it ain't nothing. You ain't Crip until you can be all together. All together. 3 things was going on then: Soul Train, gang banging, and pop locking. Those still staples of America. They still talking about Soul Train, that which just coming, and pop locking. And that later on invented the Crip walk. Because how we going to pop lock as gangster Crips or something and we jumping all around? That ain't going to look too cool, huh? Nah, going to look like a stripper, really. So I'd rather Crip walk and do a little bit of that. So anyway, man, you're killing me, Larry. So anyway, though, man, when I come back from out of juvenile hall, because you couldn't do what you could do to a stranger neighborhood. Like I couldn't do what imply my trade on 83rd, and I know everybody. So that's how people go. I go up into the hundreds and sell my oats. I don't know nobody up there, so I can do what I want, and vice versa. So when I get back out, now Monk don't start at Underground, Melvin Hardy don't start at Block, O'Neal them got 111, and Tony Brock don't start at Watergate. But I'm not from out the 100. I'm from the 80s, but now they're starting to kind of like tell them what to do. And that's when, we got our own crew. And those that with me, we broke back, and I named us Gangster Crips. And then when we realized we stayed on 83rd, we locked it down to Eight Trey Gangster Crips. And then when Hoover came out, we took them in this 83 Hoover Gangster. And it went on down the line. And then when the murder happened in 1980, that split, that divided them, where you going to be with us, the gangsters, and they umbrella, or you going to be up under the neighborhood umbrella. And that's where they stand at today.
What murder are you talking about? You said when the murder
the murder of Big Rick from the Rolling 60s, Tyrone, who I knew. And that's what started the breakup to where they divided. That was the big one. Other than that, usually a homicide that happened amongst us was internal. And that would lead, but it would end at that. But that murder there that happened in 1979 and started escalating, that was a 40-year war that basically mellowed out a little bit after Nipsey Hussle tragic death. That was the first time Gangster Crips or any affiliates of us, them, had ever been over on Slauson and Crenshaw in 40 years. So that was historical. But the problem is this. They had all these gangs there to New York, to gangs, to where they could have really created dialogues with those that are community influencers. But then damn politician, nobody come and offer them or even interview them. They let it die down, the flame, and then you're right back to where you're at. And that ain't right. So those are the areas that I try to correct. Because it's a lot of times senseless gun violence can be addressed, but you just overlook it. I call it poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. You cannot think that you sitting on a mountain, I don't care if you're a celebrity, actor, rapper, and think you're going to dictate the streets. You have to have a voice from the streets that would be close enough to know and have their ear to the ground to know that the elderly are mad because in the white community all the ATM machines work and 4 out of 5 of ours don't work. Who do we go to? I don't heard them say that. That's a shame. Or Melvin, a peeping Tom been looking in my window at my daughters while I go to work. and I've been calling them, can you do something? And I got to go there, file a complaint, and then have them go. These are the type of oversights that need to be brought out and called out on, oversight. The closest elected officials need to be held responsible. It ain't no youth's fault. Everybody always knocking youths, this, that. They ain't got nothing. There's no resources, no jobs, but you want them to turn their only source of maybe protection and income, their pistol, in for a concert ticket. That ain't gonna happen. So we have to do something to be more innovative and updated to help our communities, because our biggest assets is us.
So you feel like these councilmen and people in power and positions should be more, should engage more with the people in the streets to kind of know what's going on and to help the community better?
I'm positive they do. Well, in California.
Okay.
I can't speak for here.
Right.
But usually they all flock together because it ain't no coincidence, and it's the truth. Most inner cities that are having the most trouble are run by Democrats. Ain't nothing fake about that. I know a Democrat where, not a Democrat. I don't even want to go into parties because, like I say, I don't care who president. When you don't have to pay taxes, it don't bother me because I've never been a taxpayer. I've been a tax burden. So I'm objected to where I just call them like I see them. I don't care. And a daycare center got shot up. 7 shots fired. Kids running. You'd have thought it was a fire drill. And if you see the video I got, and if I show it, it'll end his career. Oh, it would. I guarantee you nobody. And it ended the ones that endorsed him, because I notified him of this. In fact, Joey Badass was going to donate the money to buy the cameras because they wouldn't do nothing. That's how deep it was. So I tell him, man, we got a problem where they coming up here shooting at these schools, at this daycare center, and these kids here. Why don't you just put a camera in here?
Right.
They never responded. I watched the police sit there and just scrape up the shells in a dustpan, never asked nobody what happened. But more importantly, they told staff, don't tell the parents what happened. And then they had a big town hall meeting and covered up the bullet holes so nobody would see him. And I've been letting him go. But you know who I'm talking about. And if you don't get it right, I'm coming.
Hold on. So you don't want to say his name?
Oh, yeah, they know who I'm talking about, and he know who I'm talking about. I don't have to say it because I've said it before. And I think I'm going to run for that seat. How about that?
What seat is that?
8th District. How about that? Nah, you can put 2 and 2 together. Huh?
Yeah,
I could have been quiet, but I'm gonna help you because you're a player. I'm gonna fade you fair. A fair bet is a fair bet. Now you figure it out.
But he's not doing his job, basically. He's not doing
Well,
job, covering shit up.
he's not doing due diligence. How about that? Because there's been other dissidents, not with him, but with other ones, to where they'll keep it up under the rug. Why wouldn't you hide it when you're getting millions of dollars for intervention and prevention and getting on TV saying crime going down and everybody's shooting around you? You're going to keep it hid. That's a problem. What happens? When Hitler controlled the Jews, didn't he drop propaganda and leaflets? Because that means he can control the dialogue. So if you got the only black newspaper in town, they mean they got the power to only show one candidate. What the police want, they got pretty good political power as far as what's going on in that city. And that's what happens a lot, to where they sit and they underscore what be going on and jump up something like, you'll have 15 murders up the street from you, and you'll cry about somebody over in Anchorage, Alaska.
Can I ask you a question? Can I, well, that was one, but can I say something? So, what is this man's job as being a council district, eight seat district. What is his job? What is he, because I see his name, right? Mm-hmm. Is Marquise, is that him?
Oh, I don't know. I can't hear. I don't speak that language.
Oh, all right. Well, I say it for myself.
Well,
if it is him, what would his job be to serve the community? Because, I'm kind of, what would his job be? What can he do better?
Well, I'm not going to sit and say what he can do better because now it's not the time to sit and try to criticize. And if I had him, he can sit right here and we can go head up. Now, why don't you do that and invite us both? And then that way I don't be behind nobody back.
Okay, what would you be able to do for the community if you had that seat?
Bring resources.
Like that.
I would go when it come to public safety. I would attack 3 areas. The juvenile justice system, parks and recreations, and schools. You know why?
Why?
Because that's where you got the most troubled youths that are right at the breaking point of making decisions in life.
But his background is not your background. He hasn't been through what you've been through, nor does he have the knowledge that you have. Assuming, I don't know, I don't know.
No, Mike Steves is a good guy, but that doesn't mean you know the streets. For instance, I don't believe nobody that sits high up on the office can ever, and it's not Marquise's fault. Let me rephrase. Let me put that. It's more so those that got their ears to the ground that see what's going on and not doing their diligence into getting that to him because he sits behind the office. I give him that. But it's a lot that go on in there to where it should be looked into. But as far as that, I would address public safety, homelessness, education, but I also would introduce a new something called inner city stress syndrome.
And I have to go back and repeat, he doesn't have you've been out there, and you've been in the field, you've been around, you damn near started a big movement that trickled out around the world. So, I mean, they don't have the knowledge and the understanding. I don't know how he grew up.
He's from New York. I believe from Brooklyn.
Nah.
Where he from?
Slow down. Whoa.
No. Look
out.
and see. I don't know.
Chill out. Don't do that. Don't say stuff like that.
No, he's from New York, I believe.
I'm about to Google it. Come on, don't do me like that, man. Come on.
I ain't doing that.
And he carrying it like that?
Where he from?
South Central. He raised in South Central.
Who it was his sister? But
I feel like that. Me personally, I feel like you would, of course, a person like you would better fit because you will understand, and a lot of people can relate to you.
But let me say this:
the inner city things.
I wouldn't want that. Let me cut you before I forget my thoughts. So sometimes I get selective amnesia.
Sorry.
Selective.
I'm sorry.
It might come and go at my presence. But I wouldn't. He's qualified for the job, and I told him this. But I say it's nothing wrong with. He gave me an award for civil rights and serving the community the best. That's hard to do there. But I didn't get no job with it. What kind of shit is that? I get the award from all of them, but none of them give me a job. It would be to his best and let Melvin be an ambassador.
I agree.
Let him be. But they don't do that.
You would try to reach out to him?
Because I couldn't do what he do. He know about business. All of them know about other things, their area. But you could make me ambassador where Melvin could be the ears to the streets for you.
You would try to reach out to them and
One day when the 100 days, 100 nights, him and Karen Bass called me in and said, Melvin, we're going to try to find $500,000 to hire you and your friend to help stop this gang violence. Once we helped knock it down, they gave the jobs to somebody else. This is the type of games that go on.
I mean, I get it. I feel you being a little nice, though.
I am because
I like you. I like you a lot. I feel your energy, but you're being a little bit too nice.
I can't go hard in the paint because
I can go hard for you.
You can go hard for me because if it go from an issue to a problem, it's gonna have to be eliminated. So I'm gonna go soft.
Well, I'm riding.
You can go hard.
I'm riding with you.
My
thing is that he went to Morehouse College. No disrespect to him, that's a good thing. His family moved. I just read it. His family moved him, to protect him from gangs and police. So he moved at a young age, right? He's 49 years old. I don't know how old you are, but I looked it up. You were OG for real. I feel like the wise thing to do is to hire somebody or bring somebody on who is to the streets, who the people or the kids will look up to, who can be able to relate to these kids. If you're not going outside on the streets, you can't relate to them. They're not gonna listen to you, and you're not gonna make an impact. And it's gonna look bad. It's gonna put a blemish on your record. It's gonna make your jacket look crazy. That's how I feel. So I feel that getting you would be an amazing idea. I don't know why he wouldn't do that. I don't understand the politics, to be honest. But I think that a person like you would be beyond qualified. So you want to be nice? Oh, he cool. I don't give up about he cool. But still, man.
But what he said.
I don't care.
No,
about
I'm saying what he said is what they did. Like they had him come in and stop a lot of the crime.
But
and
they cheated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't.
The full-time jack move.
Exactly.
That ain't cool.
So it's not like he's trying to stay in position. He don't want to put him in his spot because he'll probably come in and take over the whole office. So it's like let's bring him in, let's have him help us out, and then push him back out. That's what they did. You know what I'm saying? Jack move, like you said.
Yeah, but look, yeah. They talking about the thing for the home. He ain't talking about the streets. I don't see anything. But I see something about the homeless. You know, building something. You know, housing for the homeless people. But I don't see anything about the streets. And I think the idea you should say it again. You said something about the stress relief. What did you say about
inner city stress syndrome?
I think that's inner city stress syndrome.
I think that should be a condition for all those in these pockets of poverty that Obama called them, or red-infested Baltimore, like Trump called them. But they're all the inner cities across America. I think that should be a new mental illness description for kids that are raised in these environments where they're waking up, subjected to dead bodies when they walk to school, being bullied at school, not being able to go to the park, being pressured. You can't help but be psychologically or mentally challenged growing up in there. I've been in a community where the kids don't trick or treat for the last 10 years because of gunfire. That's sad. You don't do the kids like that. We're not giving them a chance to grow, man. I don't like that.
Well, I feel you could, but do you feel like if you was to get in that position or get in position, I think you'd be outside, you'd be on the street, you'd be on the front lines.
But I would create an ambassadorship to where you bring other people in.
Of course.
And let them bring their factions in, and then create dialogue to work together. Because you can sit and have economical empowerment, but if you can't go 10 blocks in any direction for fear of getting hurt, it ain't gonna work. Once we can free ourselves, where I can walk freely amongst my people, and I ain't got to worry about the 14-year-old with his hands in the pocket, or the backpack, or the window coming down, or the gunshots just pulling by. And I ain't just I'm talking about whether it be by friend, family, or foe, or those that even here to serve and protect us. I've been of an assassination attempt to where all those organizations or people have tried to kill me physically. So I don't have no distinction amongst murderers that try to take my win. The only thing I judge a murder or murder of somebody that lose their life is it justified? Did he threaten your life? Then it's eligible to take somebody's life. Like if I put $100 up and we shooting dice, you think you're going to win my $100 by putting up 50? You got to put up 100. Am I correct? So when you put up and threaten my life, you betting, hey, I'm going to take your life. So I'm going to match that bet and say, hey, I think I can take your life. And now that's a fair bet. But when somebody running away from the police or you doing nonviolent offenses and then you still get killed, they wasn't threatening life. And that needs to be addressed. And that's why I address qualified immunity when it comes to law enforcement. They know that they can get away with qualified immunity that gives them the opportunity to kill all men, women, and children with impunity. Not just blacks. That gives them the chance to kill all once you don't comply. That activates to where they can say, I thought, it seemed, it looked, it appeared, and that take away the intent. So one of my areas that I address on this Code Back Coalition is police oversight. And one of the areas that they told me to attack and maybe write legislation is I want them to disqualify qualified immunity. So they'll say, well, how can you do that, Melvin? Easy. If you comply and your violations, and you're violated after you comply and end up dead, beat up, that officer should be disqualified from having immunity, and the standard of proof should be dropped to the same thing that we would have to go through. That bar is too high of a standard. And until we address that, we'll be marching, they will, until their feet bleed.
Do you like Donald Trump?
I have no opinion of Trump, Pump, any of them, because it got nothing to do with me. Nothing he got to do with me even matters. That's riding a dead horse down a dark canyon.
Are you Republican?
I ain't nothing. I'm just Melvin Farmer on the streets of L.A. here in New York trying to protect and make my baby proud. And that's it.
Smart. Yo, so you had a wild life, and you've been through a lot of stuff. Like, when did you get to this Melvin that you are right now? When did you change to get this mindset, or was it always there?
No, well, this mindset changed. Well, I had 3 or 4 mindset changes.
Okay.
Usually after I come out of prison, then I figure out which way I'm going. So, gotcha. 94, 97 is really when I start realizing, because, the number one deterrent for crime is age. As you get older, you mellow out. So now I don't got out from the life sentence, but I had a promise to keep. Because all the guys, since I was on a high level, all of them were lifers, they made a promise that I get out and don't forget about them. That's why I wrote the book, The New Slave Ship, and come back and get them. And because of my word and they having that in me, I went to doing civil rights, and I never stopped to get those that are still incarcerated up under 3 strikes for nonviolent offenses that are still there. So that's what made me change in that. Then I did about 10 years of hard work and didn't get paid. And that's when I drift off and I start back to hustling. Then I just got off a 83-year sentence in Georgia where I'm doing parole now. And then I'm off. I've been out 7 years. I got 10 years left on parole from Georgia. And I started back to doing civil rights. But what'll happen is they don't pay me. I get burnt out and I leave it alone.
Right. Now, how hard is it making that transition when you first started, like you being still young and having the influence of some of, the negativity in the streets, and like how hard is it to stay focused on the positive side to try to change the mindset?
Let me say this, when we was young, I didn't have no influence over nobody because we never had to ask nobody to join. It only was so many of us, a handful. Right. So it wasn't no, I'm going to tell you what to do. At 13, 14, you led by example, and then they followed. See, it wasn't no getting jumped in our era or saying this and that. You had to go pay your dues, blood in, blood out. So with that thing, I've never been the one that ever told nobody to do nothing. Actually, nobody really ever too much heard of me because I've been dormant to where other ones have been up front and I've been in the back. And because of a couple of people lost their lives natural, I just stepped to the plate to tell my story and to help others, but also to bring awareness and show that there's a different way other than to join this out here in the streets. You can do better. You don't have to do that. And if I can change my life, then surely you can change your life. So at that age of 13 and 17, we wasn't thinking about nothing. It wasn't nothing. We were having fun. We had a lot of fun. We were like family, camaraderie ship. You had the Soul Train dances where you might have the Soul Train girls there at the dances. We dancing for $50. We going to Watch Stacks, Watch Festival. You got Michael Jackson. You got everything. You could have so much fun. And then things start drying up. The prisons, we start getting to be adults. The sentences start getting longer. Then the original guards that were there, they start getting longer sentences, and that's when the next generations and the next generations. You got 5 generations of Crips and Bloods. So every 10 years, I say something changes as far as the culture.
You know, we kind of skipped over what I wanted to ask, but I'm going to go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask.
Sometimes I do that.
No, it's all right. No, you know, you have a
selective amnesia.
Nah, it's all right. I want to ask you a question. You got sentenced to you said 25
years to life
To
plus
life.
a 10-year consecutive sentence. Huh?
Okay. Now, what did you do to get that sentence?
I didn't do nothing. I can allege what happened.
Yeah. Please.
They found $2.50 worth of drugs, and I got 25 years to life. That's my third strike. On a law that was implemented March 7th, 1994, I got arrested March 15th. My first arrest was $2.50 worth of drugs. So where did Melvin 3 strikes come from? Oh, that's right. They made a law that go backwards that punished me for what we just talked about I did in 1973.
The ice cream trucks and
all that, but all those, they came and made it where they retroactive and changed the meaning to where I couldn't have got but a year for these priors to where it's mandatory I get life.
Be honest, Melvin. What you had the drugs on you? Like what they
Bro,
pulled you over?
one thing, an inmate, I'm not an inmate. I'm a convict. If I say I did it, I did. I've been arrested almost 50, 60, 70 times. Don't been to trial where there's been enormous evidence against me. When I say I did something, and I never cried. But when I say I didn't do something, I don't get my day in court. Something had to happen. I had a life sentence, and I'm sitting here now. So that tell you something was wrong. Mm-hmm. I just come off another life sentence where they framed me. That's not impossible, bro, when you're on this list. Trust me. Every alphabet agency they don't have, I don't been up under investigation. OSS, FBI, ATF, and been arrested by all of them. When I say I didn't do something, that's my word. But I don't get my day in court. I just got shot at with my hands up. My own attorney in Georgia threw away the tape that would have exonerated me, and I caught him. That's why I ain't on death row. I called in NAACP, didn't get the time of day. Ain't we making a bill, Tim? Behind that. So, who got road rights in America?
What were you doing in Georgia?
Hustling.
Getting money.
That's hustling.
Yeah, well,
But they ain't got nothing to do where...
Okay, all right,
no, but let me finish. But that ain't got nothing to... It didn't have nothing to do with where you surrender. All it was a fake credit card. So I ain't getting nothing but 6 months. I threw my hands up surrendering. And they put 3 guns on me for 15 minutes at my forehead. And I finally told them, you playing this good, old boy. Either you going to arrest me or you going to have to kill me. Because I knew the camera was up there. But y'all wouldn't do that. See, I ain't the one to sit and talk. I ain't scared of death. But something came over me where calmness came. And then I started thinking, I might get life. My mama gonna be hurt. I might stay here. I think I hold court on the street. They call it suicide by police, by the way, to where you know what you finna do. You finna get killed. So I can't let them violate me. I got to stand for mine. So it ain't nothing to laugh about where you get shot at, and then your own white lawyer hide the tape, and then they go from the death penalty and still make you take 83 years. I'm on 10 years parole, can't go 50 miles. We had an ankle bracelet for 2 years, and I ain't did nothing. And then you tell all these civil rights organizations, and I still don't get my day in court. Now, that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
So why I don't get my day in court? But everybody will jump when they see the police or somebody else where they can get some money. And these are the people that I speak for, the ones whose voices don't get heard.
The voiceless.
They're voiceless.
Got it. Can you get into what happened that day?
Yeah. To be honest, I knew some players that was on the Tennessee Titans, heavyweights. And I guarantee you, August 2010, Tennessee played Seattle on a Saturday night preseason. that Monday, I suppose they had been getting them stereo equipment and stuff, and these major ball players with multi-million-dollar contracts. And our folks had went up there to the training center. So that day, we went to the Mall of America, something in Georgia, the biggest mall. Me and two more boys that was from Indiana. They were GDs, to be exact, growth and development. I got them with me. So, but they young, so I'm doing everything. I see that the play ain't gonna be cool, so I go to the car. Actually, they let me leave to go to the car because they had the car under surveillance, and they knew what car I came in because they told me later on, Melvin, we let you go to the car. So I said, you let me go to the car so y'all can pull the guns on me when y'all could arrest me in the store? He said, yeah. So when I get to the car running, they come behind me, they open the door. I got the car running, my foot on the brake, and I got my hands up. Got two girls standing here with two guns on me that end up being taser. You got three men with guns right here, right here, right here. And I'm like this 15 minutes, and we waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And finally I said, are you going to arrest me, or are you violating my civil rights? Were you trying to show up in front of these girls? And I told them, you're going to have to pull the trigger or arrest me, and I'm leaving. But I couldn't quit looking from down the barrel of the gun because I didn't know they had surrounded me with other police cars because I couldn't take my eye off the pistol. So when I told them I'm leaving, I started putting my hand down, and they started saying, don't do it, pulling, cocking the trigger. And I kept telling them, you got to do it, you got to do it. But my eyes open. And I threw the car in reverse, never closed my eyes, and I hit another police car, boom, and I thought it was a shotgun. And I ducked. I say, damn, they shooting at me from behind. Where'd that come from? I put the car in drive, and all the police had been knocked out the door. And then I could have hit them, and I veered to make sure I didn't hit them. And I crashed into a car. They shot, then they beat me up, and then I got charged with 3 counts of attempted murder. And they had the video. And then I told them the video would show everything that happened, that I was surrendering. And my lawyer went and got it and destroyed it and brought a fake one in. And the reason I knew that it might be fake because from robbing ice cream trucks or armored trucks, we knew about security. And I know at these type of establishment, they don't use no CD because you have to buy one every day to cover the parking lot. And I figured he made this, and I took a chance and say, I bet you they use like a Betamax or something where you can record after. And I called, did the research, and that's how I found out, and that's why I'm home.
To keep recording. Yeah, you're right, yes.
And that made me say, because when he brought the video, it wasn't nothing but smoke on there. I say, man, what is this? He'd say, that's the video. I say, no, it couldn't be. And I called Christopher Darden. And I say, Chris, call up here and tell the prosecution you're monitoring that. And he called, and that helped me out a lot. That backed him up a little bit. But the only reason I ain't doing life and dying in prison is because my allegations were true. And so they took me to court, if you look, where I was supposed to have started trial, and they kept canceling it. And finally, my lawyer run back there, you ain't gonna believe it. You ain't gonna believe it. I say, what? He say, they offered you a deal. I say, I know there is, after I go in there and tell what the hell you did, because he never let me in there to go tell the court. I told him, once I go in there to start trial, I guarantee you, your ass gonna get it. And I had told the police, watch this. Call him a white nigga. He say, what? I say, yeah, you a white nigga. Now what you gonna do about it? You thought you had a country bumpkin. And if I see his ass, we gonna get it on. I don't give a damn.
But today?
Anytime. Try by 12 or carry by 6.
Hold
with
on,
his ass.
No, slow down.
Nah, I mean
this
that.
your gate seat. You know, we working for.
Yeah.
Calm down, breathe.
Yeah, that one there, he chapped my hide, though. He gonna sit up there. And
so what was his reason for doing it then?
They were covering up. That's a lawsuit.
It is, a big one.
And that's what he did.
But why wouldn't he want to win the lawsuit?
He worked for them. Gwinnett County is a county where they run their own thing. What you call them was there? Gucci Mane. He'll tell you about it. All of them will tell you. He did that to protect the police. And this courtroom, what I went to, has a history of destroying evidence. I got shot at, beat up, tasered 8 or 9 times, received a 80-some year sentence. I never cried, never said nothing, but that my lawyer and the tapes would show what happened. And he destroyed them on purpose. So I'm a survivor of black-on-black crime. I mean, not black-on-black crime, but police brutality, where I lived to tell about it and experience it. But I guess if I wouldn't have died, if I'd have died, then everybody would have been, hey, that's wrong. But now that I'm alive, I don't get my day in court, and I don't think that's fair.
That's far from fair. Were you injured? The beat that they gave you?
I ain't slept a whole night since.
So,
head injuries, tasered 10 times, knocked unconscious. A girl named Mika Davis sent a doctor from California where she called, and another person I was beat up so bad.
Did you so you received the 80-year sentence, and how did you get overturned? Like what?
It wasn't overturned. That made me have to take a deal, because if I can't get no justice on the streets, what do you think if I'd have been found guilty, my chances of coming back on appeal would have been 0.
Got it.
So the point is, I had enough to make them where they went from nothing to where I'm free.
Got it.
Or else I would be dying in prison. So you get 2 numbers in Georgia, a top number and a bottom number. Okay. 83 do 10, 80 do 5. I got 83 do 20. So I did some of it, and I got to do the rest on parole. So that forced me to where he said, Melvin, well, we offer you 20 do 5. I figured if I got him like this, I could say 3. And because I did break the law by doing fraud, I figured 4 years was a fair sentence for that. See, I don't mind doing the time when I get caught. You do the crime, do the time. So I say I'll take 3. But I figured they'd go in the middle and say 4. And then they came back out and he said, you ain't gonna believe this. You ain't gonna believe this. The judge gonna give you 4. It's never happened before. I said, I know it ain't never happened, because ain't nobody been caught doing what the hell you did. And he took me back in there, and I had to take and swallow the soup. But in the actuality, I shouldn't even be charged with nothing. I should be exonerated, and I should have had my day in court. Right. And my rights are still being violated.
And this was 2010, you said?
2010. I've been out since 2014, and I've been up under, at first it started off ankle bracelet a year, twice a week visiting, don't go 50 miles, can't stay by yourself. All these things are the conditions that I'm still up under now, except for the ankle bracelet.
So, okay, but what did you get convicted of before that, 2010? Because you was in jail before that, yes?
2010, before that? 2010, 97. The last case I think I had was 97, when I got the 3 strikes.
For the $2.50.
$2.50.
Got it. And then you came out.
That's
and
crazy.
And no disrespect. I mean, because in my mind, right, when you said scam, I'm like, damn, credit card scam back in 90. I thought they was boosted. I don't know. When you said that, but it was 2010. The credit, because you said
he was advanced, man.
I was doing credit cards in 2000.
Of course, but what I'm saying initially, right, when I thought it was, for some reason, I don't know, I mistaken it for the 90s. I'm like, damn, he was advanced like that. Credit card
but they was advanced. Ice-T got a movie called Swipe.
Word?
We've been getting money. Ice-T and them, all us went to school together. He got a movie called Swipe where they were jewelry store robbers, credit card frauds. They some of the best. All them are my buddies who I was getting money with. I told you, there's two parts to me. I quit gangbanging at 17 or 18. I started getting real money from 17 till my mama just said don't break the law. I ain't never had problems getting no money. Never. But now it's difficult because my mama said don't break the law. I'm getting too old to work, too young for Social Security. So now I settle for less.
What you did with your money when you was getting it like that? Because you told me a lot of, I got.
No, I don't. No, it ain't no God. Fast money go fast. What I mean by that, I work and only get $300 or $400 a week. But goddamn me, it feel like I get $3,000 because I did it honest. And I don't blow it because I know I worked hard.
And I respect
But
that.
in my era, I know I can spend on blow and gamble. See, they rap for the ice around their neck. We pull a heist for the dice. And then we shot dice. So don't get it twisted.
He cool, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
Yo.
So when we go and do a robbery, I might have my partner that don't rob Steve-O don't rob the Coliseum for $800,000. I might don't rob Fred Meyer's jewelry store. Now he got cash, I got jewelry. What you want? Man, put 10,000 up and let's shoot. And that's how we got down. That's how we got down in them days. Everybody go get their money, hustling. You had the dope game coming out. That was coming out in the late 70s. And then we'd hustle and we'd come back and shoot dice. Where's a $100,000 bracelet? Shoot 10. This the type of money they was getting. I had friends that robbed Tiffany jewelry store the first time in history for millions of dollars at the age of 17 or 18. And that's universally known. So we was getting a lot of money back then. But I blew it because I gambled, I hustled, and I didn't have nobody telling me, Melvin, hey, buy a home. Hey, Melvin, do this. Like, Melvin, remember I had the 4 cars? Cadillac, Benz, Vet, Cherokee Jeep, all 1990, all paid for, stand in the rain trees, $3,000 a month, $40,000 put up here, this, that. But my thrill is getting the money. That's what a jacker do.
So you wasn't flashy type. You wasn't trying to buy all the
Once
jewelry
you got,
and all the...
We take jewelry. I ain't had to buy nothing. We had it to where, here. Ask Melanie. I might call Melanie and say, close your eyes and hold your arm out, and what you get, Melanie?
An arm full of money.
Or a diamond watch, remember?
That's 2.
That's how I do all my kids. I might just call them.
How many children you have?
3. 2 boys and my baby.
Diamond watches.
Who, me?
Yeah, what I said. Yeah.
Oh, I don't wear them. I don't,
No, but you gave it, diamond watches, all sort of money.
I don't have pillowcases of jewelry. Where my daddy was a janitor, mopping the floor, and he got a ring on every finger. Real. So they went one time to arrest Janet, my other son, mother, to where they had told him I did a jewelry store robbery and said that she was wearing a ring up there. They went up to Learners, the FBI, to go arrest her. Because the same guy that told on me about the jewelry store robbery. That's how I ended up going to prison. We were shooting dice, and they ended up raiding us, and I ended up catching a case. I went to prison in '79 for the Fred Meyer jewelry store robbery, in which quite a bit of jewelry was taken.
Did you get found guilty? You pleaded guilty? You pleaded
Yeah. I had to. It was 4 of us. Well, they caught me with the jewelry.
So you could tell us a story. How it happened?
As far as that, on what? The robbery?
Yeah.
How we did the robbery?
Yeah.
Oh, you like that old mystery ass. Okay. I'm gonna give you some mystery read, man.
He like that over
No, this is what happened, man. This is how we used to do it. 1979, I went to a halfway house in February. They had 3 jewelry stores around there where I was going on day passes. I had robbed them already. So now we venturing out, because now I got jewelry to where we can go to Beverly Hills and all of us put jewelry on and we'll look like money, so they'll push the door to let you in, or else you wouldn't be able to get in. So we dressed all up. We don't carjack somebody for a four-door Cadillac, so we ride in the Cadillac, hot,
Diamond in the back.
sunroof top.
Chill out.
TNC.
Let him tell the story, man. When you said that, you know he's smooth. Why you did that, man?
My God.
Forget, man.
I ain't gonna forget nothing you live. I guarantee you that.
All right,
So anyway, man,
That's-
we sit out here and we never playing nothing. We just be driving and see something and, hey, man, let's go get that. So we go out there, got our jewelry on, knock, they buzz us in, it's 4 of us, and we go to the counter. They were just starting where they bash and grab. We don't do that. We come with the sack. You got to fill it up, and the sack must live once it leaves. So anyway, 2 of them got the sack. I got them looking, we looking, they open them, and once they open it up, the safe was open, and once I say, I think I'll take this. Oh, you want to buy this? No, I said, I think I'll take it. Then we draw down. One of them going to jump that counter, go in that safe, and another one going to put that down. And then we going to go. On this one, I had all the jewelry in one bag. So like I say, once we do a robbery, the motive is for the sack to live. So I jumped out, went to UCLA, called somebody to come pick me up, and that's how we got away. Then I met everybody with the sack because they know I ain't going to go in the jury. See, we had a crew where we don't worry about stealing, taking pieces. That's how tight-knit we was. And then we take the jury, divide it up, probably start shooting some dice, and that's how we came about it. But the person that picked me up, I didn't tell them what I did because they was hanging around Big James Garrett. And I didn't want them to say Melvin did this, so I was quiet, and a ring fell out. We was right on Crenshaw and Lamert, and a $10,000 ring, woman's, fell out. And she say,
Bend the mic forward.
and she say, y'all robbed the jewelry store, didn't you? That's why you had come me to get you. And so I said, here, man, I'm going to give you this diamond ring, but whoever asks you where it come from, don't say my name. She said my name. They went and told the police, and they came and cracked me.
Big James told the police, didn't he?
No, I don't know. All I know is I went, no. I'll tell you right. All I know is I was riding with my partner while, because the dice, remember I told you we was shooting dice, and they wasn't hitting. So I said, man, I got to go get me some more dice. So I said, tell my buddy to take me. And the store wasn't but up the street, but he heading toward their house. So I said, I know you ain't going over there. No, I ain't going. I said, I know you ain't going over there. And drove right up there, and when we left, they told where we was at. Then they raided the house. Now, you can infer who did it. But all I know is I left his house, and when I got there, the FBI was there. Then I went to jail. Then they arrested me. I'm the only one that went. Everybody else stayed in the house, hid.
And you got,
I went to prison for that.
for that one robbery. Did they connect others, or there was just that one? Oh, so don't get me to telling. And then, so now, you out, you moving and shaking, you getting money, you doing, you in the scams, credit card scams. Is it like how they doing it now? Like, oh, it was like that. So you went in the store and you was.
Well, it depends. I had dudes that were in the top of the game as far as credit card. You can do it where you got the little thing where you got the little box and you can download it on Exabyte and make your own credit cards, and they'll slide. That's called fired up in the back, or you can make them where they punch manual, all that kind of stuff. Print checks. I've been involved with Secret Service because that's who come behind these type of cases. It's Secret Service because you're messing with the Postal Inspector General. Those two go hand in hand with that type of crime.
What? What you laughing for?
He's a funny guy, man.
I just think that's smooth, man. Like, he's just too smooth, man, for his own good. So, what would you tell the kids today as far as these things, though? Like, what is your message today?
Well, a lot of times I'm asked, what's the number one mistake I feel I made, and a lot of people, I think one of them was not obeying my parents. I think that's the number one thing, is to respect and obey your parents, because they ain't gonna too much tell you wrong. Right. And most of the youth that I seen that respected and obeyed their parents, they turn out all right. The streets doesn't suck them up. But when you go as a child and look up to people that are trying to negatively influence you, all I can tell the youth of the day, never be a follower. Always try to blaze your own path, make your own way. A lot of times they influence these youths to jeopardize their freedom and do things in which they wouldn't do. And to the older ones, you ought to start setting a better example and try to think about not only yourself but the community, and give the respect that you want somebody to give to your mother or your daughter or your child. You know, it's not a good sight to where I get a call from a parent and they'll say something like, Melvin, your friend killed my husband, or Melvin, that dude that you took a picture with, he killed my son. Those are not things that I like about, because nobody can say Melvin ever hurt nobody. They can say Melvin did this, but it was within the rules. And our era, see, and then they'll mix it up with the 80s, the 90s. These 5 generations I don't see. So a lot of times the older ones are us back in the day. He's been to L.A. There is no retirement issue out there, Tim. It ain't like New York. It ain't like nowhere. L.A., you cannot retire, even though I've been out the game all this. You can't stand on the streets. You can't walk in there because of the terrain, once again, that go on in there. And that's a shame. I'm just trying to go out these golden years, a whole lot of us. But we're subject to where we don't did all this time and then come out and still enslaved by our own people. That's not cool. A lot of men are coming out from doing 30, 35 that are getting out from this mass incarceration that started then. Now they're getting out, but the damage is done. Between us and everybody attacking blacks, drugs, and prison, we created a silent genocide. No more different than the Jews, and now you're starting to see the effects to where our population's going down. We're being a part of gentrification to where the elders, they're losing their homes that our parents fought so hard for. Now they're gone. It's our culture. We need to start opening up dialogue amongst our own, amongst ourselves, and work out for a common cause and a common good to redefining our community and giving back and giving these kids an actual chance to grow and uplift and be proud of what they represent and where they stay and what they stand for.
If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Anything, bro. I'm with you on that, Smiley. That's my partner. Smiley's straight. They say you've been going easy on me tonight. I'm glad. Give me a thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
I respect.
Yeah, I respect that too.
What I do want to know though is that how do you feel about how the whole gang thing turned out now, Crips? How do you feel about that personally? Where it's at now? You see, in the beginning when it started, it wasn't
as brutal.
Yes.
The murders, it's always been murders, but the brutality of how they're getting killed now. It's more like assassinations as opposed to how we didn't have no cars. We didn't have nothing. You had to walk up. But as far as the Crips now and then, I have no feeling because I understand it's evolution. I can't go and bring my era and style into their era. If that's what they choose to do, I have no say-so whatsoever because that's them. But if they can change and organize themselves and get structure, Bloods, Crips, if they can get structure and stop standing for nothing and stand for something, they could get a lot done. They got a lot of voters. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of athletes that are being deferred and sucked up by the streets. But if they just change, get a structure, and get something to one stand up for as a common cause, the world is theirs.
Yo, so how can we get, I know you say you don't like to be called OG, but how can we get, what's on the word for OG? I don't know.
Opportunity giver.
Okay. How can we get the opportunity givers like yourself and other ones in the game to kind of give them structure and talk to them and lead them in the right direction?
They're there. We talk all the time.
Okay.
But they ain't going to come out for free. We're not getting the resources. If I was trying to do something, particularly in L.A., because what happens is you have city government, then you have money that go to the county, even though it might be right there. So that means you might have the 9 O's getting a gang of money for intervention and the gangster Crips not getting nothing. Or they have an intervention, but they can't talk because county doesn't mess with city. So therefore, it's a conflict of interest when you're talking gang intervention and everybody around is getting killed by gangs. You can't sit up and say, hey, I want peace. You can't do that. So what I would do is create ambassadors. One kind of old, one that's really running the shit at a young age. Because I don't fault a man when they protecting themselves from others that are coming. That's all they can do. Where else they gonna go? They have nowhere to go. You can have men that don't want to do nothing, be involved in nothing, but yet other people still come and shoot at them because of the areas that they stay in.
Right.
How do you feel about the situation with the young man from Brooklyn that got killed out there, Pop Smoke? How did you feel about that when you heard that?
Well, I see a lot on the internet to where they set tripping a little bit here and there. And actually, we was out there a little bit. But on the Pop Smoke situation, that's what we call in prison on the streets an isolated incident. It shouldn't be taken no further where it should be no harm done to nobody because you have suspects that in jail. You have a victim and a family that is grieving. So who you going to get? Let the system take its course. And that's the fair thing to do.
When you say isolated, you mean inside?
No, when I say isolated, that means that's an incident that usually wouldn't happen. It's a once in a time. It ain't like a lot of people talk the myths, this, that, conspiracy, inside, that side, which side. But at the end of the day, very seldom does that happen. That was something to me to where it was just something where somebody was pillow talking or showing stuff and somebody got wind, and then that's just what happened. It was a robbery gone bad, from what I understand. But people make it seem like, oh, it's a New York, didn't check in and all that. Well, the first problem I got a problem with the word check in.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's not how you going to tell no man to do where he got to check in the shit. Wouldn't it be more sensible to use the theory like when you have a house and we'll turn that into a state, you have a right to expectation of where when they come in, they announce themselves and let you know you're there. Like when I come to New York, I didn't check in. Y'all say I'm checking in, but I'm announcing myself as opposed to, hey, homie, I'm checking in so y'all know I'm here. Who gonna do that but a buster? Now I come and I'm a meeting, I'm gonna say, hey, homie, I'm here on y'all turf. And then I'm gonna leave it to them to take me and do what I need to do to keep me safe. I ain't gonna try to come in somebody else's home. So, with that being said, he didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't have to do nothing, but he should have. If I was him and I knew people from LA particularly at the level he's at and coming to and his age group, I would have got somebody and just found somebody from L.A. just to be there to be a buffer. You got to have a buffer. Like I'm here with them. I'm just going to ride with them, me and my daughter, and we going to sit back and have fun. I'm not going to try to come. Like when I came out here, you got Eight Treys out here. I ain't going to come out here and try to tell them how to get down and how to protect themselves. I'm just coming because I like traveling, and these my folks. And we are integrating. So now a lot of times you got New York that's coming to L.A., Florida this, and these kids are starting to meet each other and experience things other than just their zip codes and area codes as far as they going. So it's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that are helping communities across the nation. Fred Hampton, Triple C's in Chicago. We work with them. Sean Stevenson, Mr. Violence, Ohio, Black Philly Mob. All these guys work with intervention and prevention on a federal level because we're up under the Credible Messenger program. Everybody that's in Credible Messenger, from King Tone, the Latin King, he's on there. Everybody getting money. But me and Ayatollah Marvin from Peru, that was there when Suge got killed, we're Credible Messenger certified. We the only one that ain't getting paid out of everybody.
When who got killed?
When Suge got killed, there was a guy that was with Suge Knight. His name is Ayatollah Marvin from Peru that drug Bones out. That's who I work with on the side, Incredible Messengers. Me, King Tone, Sean Stevenson, Fred Hampton of the Black Panthers, Antonio Testra with the Luciano Gambino family. And this go back to seeing how far our nuts hang, too. Don't forget that. So we just going to put an inch on mines.
So they not, so nice. That company's not paying you?
Well, I just got certified, but what happens is...
I don't want to throw, I don't want to go in, because if I go in, I don't want to mess up your bag.
No, I'm going to tell you, my bag is in my head.
I don't care about messing up your bag.
No, but what happens is...
I'm the hater.
I don't have no organization to where I can get something funneled, because I'm like a gunslinger. They hire us to come talk. And so I don't have nowhere to funnel, but now they should be able, hopefully out here in Hollis, New York. This is where I want to be, in New York. Because I've always told Tim, to change America, it ain't going to start in L.A. It starts in New York. Is that what I said, Tim? And work your way out. Because we don't have the resources. We do, but I don't have them. But the people that I work with here are in better position to where my voice can be heard, and we start here.
Gotcha.
Do you trust these guys that you with? You trust them?
Well. Who, them?
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
They look like trustworthy guys. I mean, one guy's in here with a mask on. I don't know what's going on, but
you ask him what's going on.
Oh.
Come on up here and tell me a little bit here, man. Come on. Okay.
It's your time, Skull, you heard?
All right, then.
One day you're going to, when you're ready to call Brooklyn Batman, but this man's story, his story is legendary, and he got wise men and wisdom that he need to get to the world. It ain't about me, man. It's about this man right here. You know?
Appreciate that. What's your Instagram?
Brooklyn Batman.
Brooklyn Batman.
Yeah, just put with an 8, though,
Okay. That was official. Yeah, I like that. Brooklyn Batman. Make sure you get some love on behind the scenes, please. Yeah, I like that. That was good. You see, it's honorable, man. It's good. We could have made it about, because it's a lot of questions I got for him. Got a mask on in here, making me nervous. I don't know what's going on. You got people standing by the door. They want to fight. Ice grilling, all type of crazy stuff going on here. But, we could take it. Got the tough ones, the cool ones, and everything. But, all jokes aside, though, I think that I'm going to say this because I know, I do joke and I, try to break the ice. But, I think that you are needed out here in the community. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the people who are behind the scenes need to catch on and need to take advantage, of the power. Because a lot of people can't take the fact that even though they're in position, they still don't have the grasp or the power that somebody else may have.
An experience.
So they may want you to go through them. They want to, you gotta go through me to get, what I mean, instead of just putting you in position. And I feel like you need to be put in that position to talk, because if you was to come and talk to me and somebody else, I'm like, what's my man name? Marquise. I'm like, all right, Marquise, yeah, all right, I listen. But you have like, word, like, you can relate. You talk to the soul, and that's what's important. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Marquise. I'm cracking jokes, but at the same time, I feel like you need to be put in the highest standards. They need to put respect on your name, like we put on your name.
Do you feel like, Flip, question for you, do you feel like the people in position are afraid to put people like him in position, though?
I'm asking no questions like that, but yeah, I do.
Because, because of his history and what he's known for, they may be like, I mean, I think it's a small move to put him in position, though. But,
I agree.
I think the people in position may be a little scared that, that he may go back to his old ways or whatever.
I've been doing this 23 years.
But I don't think scared to go to their old ways. I think that what it is that, and it's gonna sound crazy, I'm not saying this is the situation, but nobody wants to be outshined when you, like, that's what I think that's what it is. Mm-hmm. If somebody because a person like me, I'm comfortable in my skin. I know who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind, like, yeah. You know how we do, but
likewise,
a lot of people are not comfortable. A lot of people want to go for more than they can actually. They want more on their plate than they can actually handle. You know what I mean? And they want to be, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? With him, I can see Mr. Farmer. I can see people listening and understanding. They need to put him out there. The whole thing. He got the whole game plan on lock.
Yeah.
And then I asked him if he's Republican. He didn't want to answer because he said the Democratic cities be going through it. So he didn't say the Republican cities. Yeah.
No, because I ain't never lived in a Republican city. So I don't know what the hell Republican is. But I just know that.
Good.
No, seriously. These are facts. Every inner city that has major gun violence.
Talk.
Look, don't go from the top. Go with the local elected officials. Then when you get that list, I guarantee you 99 or at least 90% of them are exactly what I said. I'm talking about the Houstons, the New Orleans, the Chicagos, the Los Angeles, the Ohios. The majority of those cities, we are underserved. And now that you said that, I'm going to take back Democrat. That's why I don't like getting in, because that's out my field. I don't care about a Democrat or a Republican. Mm-hmm. But I ain't never looked at, I don't even know what a Republican, but I've been around the Democrats a lot. And I know how that party affects the inner city. They're responsible. There is no white mayor, no white councilmen and all that in L.A. They're all black. But I also know somebody that told me that they sit around and they sit and figure out what position they going to take next after the term, like good old boys. And if you start seeing it, you'll start noticing nepotism. That's what exists in politics all around America, whether it be white, black, Democrat, Republican. You will hear such and such junior. Then 10 years later, it'll be the senior, and then it'll be the third, and then it'll be the same shit. And that's why we here now and done went from water hoses to choke holes, and still ain't nothing changed.
Water hose to choke hole.
And ain't nothing changed. How about that?
Straight like that. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you would like to touch on that we didn't ask?
That I enjoyed this, man. And like I say, the reason why I straighten, I'm just trying to make my mama proud. She getting old. She said she wanted to hear me finally say that I got a job. And that's what I'm trying to do. My mama has never heard me say I'm getting up to go to work till recently. And it's a piece of a job, but I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But I should be getting paid what I'm worth, because I think we can make a change, and I think we can bring people in that could make a change as well as possibly win this election and make a difference.
Real quick, it's a couple. I got two more things I want to ask. I'm sorry, I missed it. When you say the eight Trey Gangsters started the L.A. riots, now it's a bunch of them. Which one are we referring to?
That's us. There ain't but one Eight Trey Gangster in L.A.
No. The riots part.
The Rodney King. When Reginald Denny got beat up in the L.A. 4, those are Eight Trey Gangsters that did the riot. That's where I grew up at. We all Florence and Normandy. That's the north. You got back north, backside. It's 3 sections over there back in them days. Those are the ones that's on that side.
Are you talking about the guy that got pulled out of the truck?
Yeah, that's Reginald Denny. But our gang, the Eight Trey Gangsters, are the L.A. 4. They're from Eight Trey Gangsters. So they started the actual riots. They're the ones that pulled them out. They're the ones that fought with the police on Florence and Normandy. And it's not the first time we've encountered. See, every different gangs got different traditions. Eight Trey Gangsters, we don't back down from the police. We engage. Always have, but that's something you haven't know because most people wasn't around to know some of the engagements that's happened.
And why did you? Because you started the Eight Trey Gangsters, you said.
Founded them. With a couple more.
Okay, and where did the Eight Trey? Where did the word Eight Trey come from?
We stayed on 83rd and Western. 8 Trey is the third. Trey.
Got it. So, all right. Hold on.
No problem.
I'm just that. I just want to cover all. Let me get it together.
Get it together.
Where was you at when you and tell us how you felt when you heard the news about Nipsey Hussle passing away?
Actually, we had one up there and was filming up there, and the results wasn't the same as like then. But when Nipsey Hussle died, at the beginning, I felt that it's sad because I know quite a few of them, and we all went to school. But once again, that's part of this game where you sign up. I never would call nobody no snitch unless you got to down him right then. You got to. So I felt bad. He was from our community, one of the ones that was coming out, up and coming. I know some of his people deal with him now. But one thing Nipsey Hussle legacy did do was create the opportunity for us to go and create dialogue for the first time. And hope his legacy continue on. It's a shame that not only him, Biggie Small, I done been around in this hip-hop game since Michael Conception started. We all in the same game, 79, 78. I just chose not to get into it. But Easy, Tupac, Biggie, a lot of talented guys get caught up in particularly emulating or talking about the streets, and then it come back and actually hunt them in the ass. And I just felt bad that such talent is wasted that could have been avoided and the conflict could have been resolved other than that, man. So he was a great talent, and others, and one of which is Mom and family and Sam and the children and others, condolences, because actually they have a church right around the corner where his dad owned, the Ethiopian church or whatever religion. And one night right after his son died, right before the burial and stuff, we seen like about 500 over there. And that's how I found out that he was Nipsey's dad. But also the night that Nipsey died, Barefoot Pookie came over, Babalu from Peru, who I was staying over with at that time. They came over right that same hour, but I was in a place that was high, and I never will forget, it was kind of dark, gray, clouds, real quiet. All you could hear was ambulance, police, and the whole town was quiet. But they was quiet because they didn't know what happened. And if it came out that our side or anybody from this side had something, that's it. It's over with. Over with. It wouldn't be no talking about nothing. And this nationwide. So luckily it was isolated, internal, and that makes a big difference in what transpired afterwards, if it was isolated or intentional. This was isolated. And once again, you can't go around and take it out. Who you going to take it out on?
True.
And that's what happens a lot of times. We misuse social media and give out false information, which helps ignite the situation even more so, and it get out there before the truth come out and you can't pull it back. And that's what happened. So with Nipsey, he was a great talent. And not just Nipsey, all people who lost their loved ones. Just the senseless violence, period. Let's not just leave it with him. Let's just try to make it to where no parent, no mama should have to cry. No daughter should have to do that. Father.
Let me ask you one last question. How nice were you in basketball? Because you somebody do this.
I was the #1 ranked player. Let me put it like this.
Oh, talk the talk. Let's go.
I played in a league where you had Russell Brown that went to Arizona State, Reggie Theus that went to the Bulls, Kim Scarborough, all them. Ozzie Smith played with St. Louis, Eddie Murphy. I played with all of them. We had a banquet for basketball. Every trophy that was offensive or defensive, that could be an individual trophy, I won them all. I won the scoring title. We went undefeated. I averaged almost 30 points a game at 14, 15. If they'd have had a 3-point shot, I'd have been known, set up record. But I couldn't stop hanging on the streets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Better yet, before we go, one of these days before I leave, we'll just go out and shoot a little bit. And if my shot when they go in hit the net, if they hit the rim, I don't count mines. I clean the dust out the net. So when mines go, they don't hit the rim. I don't count them. Yeah, well, let him step on out. I guarantee you. We used to shoot $1,000 a shot. But we'll go down and do that.
I still got a little game left, man. I mean,
I ain't got no game, but I'm at the age where we can go shoot.
Okay.
Well, we can shoot anywhere from outside the 3-point line, and when mines hit the rim and go in, I don't count them. I'm going to make it,
No humbles.
No humbles.
I like that.
I clean the dust out the net.
Who's the last guys I had 3 heat cools on the show? Who was the last one? That's it. It's good. That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. You having a tournament on what? August. They're having a tournament. Do y'all know about that in Hollis?
No.
Memorial Day?
Yeah, on Sunday, on September 6th.
Oh, word?
Southeast Queens Invitational.
Southeast Queens Invitational. That's the name of the organization or something?
That's the name of the game.
The game.
Because, they aren't giving out permits, so we're working it out.
Where's it going to be at?
147.
Okay.
School over there, down the block from Jack.
Got you. Okay. It's like, what's that? Francis
Yeah,
Lewis.
I know where 147 is. Cambria Heights.
Yeah. Okay. I want to see that. I want to see the jump shot, man. I'm interested to see. What's
going?
They ain't seen. Oh yeah, I got a video I'm gonna send to you.
Okay.
Well, I got to call it where I'm b-balling and crip walking at the same time. I got one of them videos where I'm dancing and crip walking and shooting the ball all at once.
You can't walk no more though.
I invented it. Read Michael Conception book, and he'll say the best crip walker in the world was Melvin Farmer. I grew up with him, and read his book. What's his name is Mike book, and you know who Michael Conception is, don't you? Yeah, I grew up with him before he got paralyzed. That's my partner. Still is my partner.
So you're the best crip walker in town?
No, at that era. See, we had to dance because we could win $50. Soul Train dancing. $50 a lot at 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, yes.
So Soul Train dancers had couples. Pop lockers had 2. So we were kid and play before kid and play. I had one girl that would be my partner, and then I had a real partner where we kid and play, which was Hot Dog. We was the best 2 crip walkers. We never lost a crip walking dance. But let me tell you why. Because you used to have to clap. Whoever got there come, and the DJ would say, this group here, like that.
Right.
So they'll clap.
Apollo style.
Yeah.
as they call it.
But this LA style. So when it's time for, say, the Soul Train dancer to get a clap, all the Crips will pull the pistols out and don't nobody clap. Then when it comes to the pop locker, nobody clap. Then when it comes to the Crips, the whole audience clap. We never lost, and that's how we got our money to go. They never clap. They never. Soul Train dancers and them never beat us Crip walking at any dance at the Palladium, the Hollywood Bowl, Proud Bird. When they get them dancers, we rig the game. We made it rigged. True story.
That's crazy.
Wow. Pretty good.
Pretty.
Dude, what is next? What is next?
Well, I'm out here. I've just been certified with Credible Messengers. I'm out here with my manager, Tim Terrain. I'm out here to meet with a Black Coalition, which is out here from Hollis Queen with community leaders and professionals that are giving back to the community. And I'm just out here to see what I can do to help redefine the community here and to write some policies and legislation. And also we have the Melvin Farmer legislation coming out to where we're going to try to get some sent to the Senate or Congress through legislation to address the issue of where do you go and the statute of limitation when your civil rights are violated. Why Melvin can't file his complaint because of civil rights violations, a statute of limitations, but yet somebody can be raped 30, 40, 50 years ago and say Bill Crosby did this and the statute of limitation doesn't exist. And so we think that's something that would help the nation and those that are a lot of times civil rights are violated to where it's overlooked. And so we're trying to do that also.
How proud are your kids of you right now and seeing you what you're doing now? Like,
ask her. She right there.
I see it. I see her smiling the whole.
Yeah, why would you ask me?
The whole episode. Yeah, I mean, the whole episode she's smiling out her head. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Good one.
That was good.
Yeah, let her. Yeah, man.
You can talk. Play with you.
No, I'm very proud of my dad. I've always been proud of my dad. He is my favorite person. He's my first love. He's everything. So everything that you have done from the time I was born to now, I'm very proud of you, and I love you.
Love you too, sweet.
Wow. Don't be getting all teary-eyed.
That's another thing when my baby cry.
Now, please don't wait. Hold on.
Well, we'll both be crying. Cut the cameras with my baby crying.
Don't get on that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, a lot of in recent times, not recent times, but you know, they say that women when they date men,
They try to find
like, you know, their father.
Their pops, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's though.
No.
That hurt me to myself. My baby said, "Daddy, I love you, but somebody got to be a damn fool to marry you."
so you wouldn't. So like, not my business. Yeah, God bless you. That's beautiful that you love your father. I think that your father is awesome. I think that the fact that you hold him in high standards and stuff like that's dope. That's amazing. And you know what? Round of applause for her again, please. Let's change the subject. It's all sad. I love you. It was a moment. Well, you should have played a thing, man. Little violins, man. You don't got nothing, chill. Nah. Gee, you can't. But we definitely appreciate you, man. Please give out the social media.
Yeah, man. I'm on Instagram. What I don't even be doing. What I'm on, Tim? All of them. Any social media, man. I don't even be looking at it.
Shout out to Tim one time for making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Some respect on Tim name.
Yeah.
I saw him at an event, and then he told me that I should get you on the show, and then we did a research.
But if you want to learn something about criminal justice system and something that's really, start reading and purchasing The New Slave Ship, a ship that does not sail. I wrote it with the intention to where a child attention span where he can read it. It educates them. It's a very good book, easy read. It really should be in all the school systems. It really makes an impact on children and makes a difference in their life when they really see the harsh realities and they learn the laws and to know your rights that could save your life. Tajay.
Yeah, Tajay.
What about it? Oh, he calling?
No. Let him know about it.
Oh, yeah, and we also down here. Oh, I got you. We also down here where I do civil rights, where we doing Tajay Harris, to where a young man was arrested allegedly for killing his grandfather and another elderly by setting a fire intentionally with a blunt. He never been arrested, 17 years old. They're seeking a life sentence on him. They're charging him with murder as opposed to maybe if it did happen and it wasn't intentional, it should have been a negligence charge. So I'm down here to speak to him and to represent his family and his mother, Sadia, and help them go through the process. And to mentor this youth while he's in jail. He's only 17. I've never been to Rikers Island, but he's been up there, and he calls and he's hurt. He's sad. He don't know what to do, and so I try to give him strength to stand up and tell him, you got to keep a strong upper hand for your mama. You can't show weakness. It's gonna be all right. You're not facing life, although you are, but technically. We ought to be able to make it to where he ought to be able to be put on maybe house arrest like they do others with an ankle bracelet, because the child could be permanently damaged from being in here for something that he could be exonerated later on for. And I don't think the charges could stand up or have the merit to where this young man should be in there for a year. So we're fit to try to see what we can do and bring awareness to try to get him out.
That's dope. Yeah. On that note, man, we're gonna wrap it up, right? Or you got some more? You got some more questions?
No. I was just looking at something just now, reading on this young man, trying to find something.
Tajay Woods. 2018, I want to say. 2017.
What is it, Tajay Woods? I thought it was Harris.
He said Harris, what I'm saying. Right?
K-A-H-J. How you spell his name?
Say it again. Spell his name.
K-A-H-J.
K-A-H-J.
It's Woods? Who I'm thinking of, Harris.
Brooklyn teen accused of arson, double murder. Wow.
See, these are the type of cases where it should be brought up for awareness, but they don't. They let them sit and linger, and they let these kids get washed up. This case should be a national issue, or at least an issue in here, because of this young man and the charges and the things that are going on with him at that age.
What the? Wow. Hanging out with Hawkins. That's your last name. See that? Let me see it. And let me read it. Okay. Well, appreciate you coming up here.
Thank you for
Round of
having me,
applause.
bro. This is one of the most fun times I had. No, man, I ain't gonna wipe
Don't
your
flatter
ass
me,
with
don't
soap. I'm
flatter
just
me. I ain't
telling you real shit, because it can go from one day chicken to the next day.
Don't flatter me, please.
Nah, I really enjoyed this, man. It's been a nice interview.
That was dope.
I mean, you know, I tend to get crazy, but you know,
Ain't nothing wrong with
I
crazy.
respect the OGs, man. The organized, whatever. You don't wanna say
Opportunity giver.
Opportunity giver.
Yeah.
That's a new name.
Yo, man, dope episode. Make sure you follow the pages at Queens Flip with a Z, at DJ G1156, at FlipDaScript Pod. You know, shout out to Michelle one time.
No.
Thank you. Finally.
Body toot time.
Oh.
Woo, woo.
Shout out to Bass. Shout out to Ebot. Shout out to today's sponsors.
Ebot, I saw him today.
So walking in,
Yeah,
right?
he walked in,
you can't miss that guy. When
shout out to Ebot. He's in the building, man.
Shout out to today's sponsors, man. Shout out to The Real I Pray on Instagram. Shout out to make sure I get the name right. Hold on. Wukuwada. I had to write it down the way I could read it because look, you know what I'm saying? Look a little. Shout out to Wukuwada one time beard oil company. Got my joint growing in crazy. You should try this one time. Let me put a pause. Let me just try to.
Nah, I don't do that.
No, you should.
Don't disrespect your sponsors like that.
Good.
You good?
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Basky. Shout out to Ebot. You know, he's in the building. You know what I mean? Get things done. So good to see him. Shout out to my son, Queens Flip Jr. in the building as well.
Facts.
Shout out to everybody in here, man. Batman and all type of crazy stuff.
Shout out to Tim one time, of course, for setting it up. Show me Tim, you know what I'm saying? My fault. Yeah,
Oh, you can shout him out. Shout out to Tim. Yeah.
That's it.
You want into,
Good.
shout out everybody in the building.
Yeah, good.
Shout out everybody.
Why you playing, man?
Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody. Why you looking at my, what's up?
I'm just saying, man. You're shouting out sponsors. But listen, dope episode, you know. You gotta learn, man. Life is, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And I honestly believe in that, man. But, you know, lock your doors. Close. Man, hold on real quick. We gotta, FlipDaScript is doing all right. Doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. We doing pretty good. And I feel good about it. I feel good about the energy today in here today. And I definitely want to give respect. And once again, tell King Face to get well, my brother. And, next episode is going to be crazy. But right now, we got the legend, the OG, Melvin Farmer. And lock your doors, close your windows, close your blinds, open your blinds. If you see a man like Melvin on your lawn, put it away. He don't mean no harm. But don't let him in because he'll take your jewelry off your arm. I'm from Queens.
Oh, that was good. That was good.